It's really hard to drink coffee with these on.
Yeah, isn't it?
You're gonna make a struggle.
I would like to see you try. I will. Give me a second.
Hey, meeting started. Where you
I'll
at?
buy you Starbucks
You're
for
the only
the
one
next
missing.
10 weeks if you do it.
I'm about to get off on bake.
No,
Okay.
you got it. What's that? Cheating ass.
All right, so your head's kind of in the way just a little bit. You can move out this way if you want.
Right there.
It tastes a lot like ink.
All right, good morning, guys. So I wanted to go over a couple of things with these stupid masks on. You know, you don't have to have one unless you're closer than 6 feet. So since I'm further than 6 feet, you guys can actually see my mouth talking too. But I wanted to still be safe because the COVID thing's still going on, obviously. But there's some things that I needed to go over with everybody. One thing in particular to start off is starting on Monday, which is the 1st of June, we are going to be using Service Titan instead of House Call Pro. Going back to it. So Iggy's used it before, William's used it, Ryan's used it. Besides that, nobody else in this room has. Okay?
Really?
So I'm going to go over a couple of things with you guys so you guys kind of know what's going on. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of reasons for it. But Service Titan is by far much easier to use.
And more expensive.
What's that?
And more expensive.
It's way more expensive.
4 times more expensive.
But guys, it's got a lot more features and it makes it a lot easier for payroll. It makes it a lot easier for you guys out in the field when you're...
It's 100% more usable and more user-friendly.
It's way more user-friendly.
It's ridiculously simple comparatively.
Yeah.
There's no comparison on that one.
So, I mean, House Call Pro, it had some advantages to a degree for us, but overall, they're a pretty new software compared to Service Titan. Okay, Service Titan's been around for around 10 years. And I've used it for about 6 years. And they've come a long way in the 6 years, but House Call Pro is maybe like 2 years old at the most. And yeah, they're getting better and better. They're trying to get to the point where Service Titan is. They just haven't gotten there yet. And it's made it really difficult on our side, meaning in the accounting side in particular. And basically what happens now is, and I don't want to say this in a way, but I don't know how else to say it any other way. Any software system that we use requires you guys all to do your part. If you don't use the software to its abilities or capabilities, you might as well not use it because it doesn't really do on its own without you inputting stuff, okay? So for all of you guys that are new, that includes apprentices, because as an apprentice, there are certain things you will have to do. For an example, purchase orders. If you go to a supplier and you're working on job A and you're assigned to that job today, I don't care if you're on an install crew or whatever, you need extra parts, it doesn't matter. You have to go into put a purchase order in. So if you don't put that purchase order in, I can't cost jobs properly. I can't run a business if I don't have proper costs. I can't pay you in payroll without proper costs. So I'm going to there's a training that's in here. I've given you guys, all of you guys, it's costing me a lot of money to do what I'm doing this way. And this thing, did it log me out again? Or maybe on my computer, it doesn't have that. So, okay, it does, maybe. Yeah, okay. So when you go in to log in, yours is going to look a little different than mine because mine's administrative. But over here on the right, there's a little person looking thing here. And it should have Academy, okay? I'm going to give you guys your logins here before we leave, but you guys will all have logins. You guys are all set up in here.
Are they the same as the old ones were?
Yours is, yours and Iggy's are. Yours changed, but everybody else is going to have it. Okay, so when you go in here, it basically has course activity. It has courses. There's all kinds of things that you can do in here. But basically, you want to go into courses, and they've changed this menu, unfortunately. I haven't gone in it since they've changed it. Okay, so that's just going to show you where you're at.
Does it have access to browsers?
To what?
No, just...
Okay, so we have 14 of you guys. Let me see here. I gotta remember here for a second because I haven't gone into this in a while. They did change it. It used to just say...
Come on now.
Okay.
Don't get nervous.
And they changed the knowledge base. Okay, here it is. It used to be on the left-hand side. They've done a lot of changes to this thing just in the few months we've been gone. Okay, so mobile handbook. You guys are gonna all use the mobile app. So when you go on, you're gonna go to Go, it's pretty simple, just go.servicetitan.com. I'm on the administrative side right now, so it does look a little different. But when you put the app on your phone or iPad, go.servicetitan.com. Okay, that's pretty simple. Go to get the app.
Yeah, you just push in Service Titan on the app store.
Yeah, it should be a
It's a
mobile
little
app.
Trojan looking guy, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a Trojan looking guy, but there's two different ones. You want the mobile one, so you want to go to the mobile app. Once you get the mobile app for Service Titan, there's mobile basics. Okay, so there's a little cheat sheet. There's all these different classes or courses that you can take. Preparing for the job, presenting estimates, processing payments, offering financing, tracking equipment, closing out the job. I mean, there's just a ton of stuff. Filling out forms. Forms are important, and that's what we used to do when we had Service Titan back in the day. You had a checklist when you did an AC tune-up. You had, there's pictures that get added. There's all kinds of things. So as an install crew, that's another thing you have to do on Service Titan.
Yep.
Even though it's not your job, you can also take pictures of your invoices, all right? And they can be attached to the job. The more pictures you guys take when you're on that job of before and afters, the better. As long as don't just waste pictures and take the same picture 12 times and put it on there. But you do want to put, you don't get your checks in, Shirley. Basically, you do want to put before and after pictures. They are required, okay? And purchase orders have to be in. And I would suggest, here's one of the issues we've been having with House Call Pro. You're not, whoever goes and picks up parts, they don't ever get the invoice to the guy who sold the job. So you guys have got to understand the way our system works. And there's a lot of new people, and we haven't had meetings because of the COVID thing, so I haven't been able to really do a proper training like this. That's why I just said bring masks so we can all still be safe. But one of the things that you have to do and understand is, if William sells a job, and now we have an install crew. It could be Steven and Guillermo, or it could be 4 of you, 6 of you, doesn't matter. If you are getting parts for that job, those invoices have to go back to him the same day, at the end of the day, or first thing in the morning, into his folder. They have to. They can't sit in the fucking truck. Excuse my language. They can't. They can't just be, oh, I don't know where they're at.
Or put them into your folder?
No, they need to go in William's folder. Whoever sold that job. You know, and it's really easy to know who sold that job. If you don't know, you can ask. But who sold this job?
Does it show that on Service Titan?
On Service Titan, it's not going to necessarily tell you, or it's not going to show it on. Okay, so it kind of does.
Yeah.
When in Service Titan, whoever sells the job will actually be. It's actually in Service Titan. You just have
There's
to
only
know.
going to be a few people that
Yeah, it's only going to usually be. It's going to be Ryan, William, or Kevin.
Yeah.
That's the only 3.
Yeah.
But it is whoever sells it, it does go in Service Titan, because we actually put who sells a job and it's in there. You just have to know where to find it. So after we get you into a little bit of training and you go through the basics, I can show you where to find that. It's pretty simple, because it'll say job sold by, and you just need to look and see, and it'll be there. And that's what dispatch normally puts that information in. So William will call up and say, hey, I just so and so. They'll talk to dispatch. Can you schedule this job for someone? So I just sold this job. But when he sells it, or Kevin sells it, automatically, they're putting in that they sold the job, they're creating a job, it says who sold it. You just have to know where to look. So that's something I can teach you guys as we get through the basic training stuff. This training stuff is done when you guys are, I want you doing it on the clock, when you're available to do it on the clock, when you're slow, you got your job done, you got a little bit of time left before the end of the day, not going into overtime or anything like that. If you choose to do it on your own time, that's up to you. I'm not forcing you to do it on your own time. So I don't want anybody saying, hey, he made me do this on the weekend or after hours, because I'm not. Okay? That's why it's also being recorded here. You guys want to do it on your own, and you want to get better at it and learn it on your own, that's fine. I'm not stopping you, because you have your login, you can do what you want there. But I'm allowing you to do it when you come in the morning, all the trucks are clean, all that stuff's ready to go, you're waiting for someone, you want to spend 15, 20 minutes on something, and then you just move on the next day, learn a little bit more, and it'll be fine. You as apprentices will eventually want to know this if you get out in the field and you're on your own vehicle, or if you're responsible for a job. So for an example, maybe Guillermo and Oliver, like you guys went out yesterday, you guys got to take pictures and stuff, you want to know how to be able to do it, okay? If you're unable to do it at any time, take your pictures, and then when you get back to the office, we can always help you in the beginning to get things put on there, okay? But that's, the goal is everyone to do it right all the time, okay? So the courses, I mean, they basically allow you to go in, you know, you click on here, it basically gives you all these different, explains how to do everything. I mean, it's pretty simple, it kind of goes step by step by step in the system. There are also, and the thing I haven't, again, since I haven't seen this new system yet, this is like the handbook, mobile handbook basics, but there is also in the academy somewhere here, and I just don't, like I said, I haven't done this since they changed all of this, but there are actual videos that you can go as you go into the courses. So there's the total courses, there's zero what we've done so far, but you can go in to these courses and you have to look and see what they are. So this is for admins, obviously that's not going to be you guys, right? Adjustment for invoices, you guys really, you can go in and look at it, but it's not that important. Batching and posting is not. So it's kind of one of these things is what are you guys going to be responsible for? Anything that has to do with mobile is what you guys want to look at. Call booking is obviously CSRs, they're the ones who set up the calls and all that good stuff. So you just have to scroll down to these dispatching, you're not going to worry about that unless you're in the office, right? All this QuickBooks stuff you're not going to worry about. You're just going to scroll down, and when you guys get down to, there's 116 records. So, okay, so how to use Green Sky? Okay, so Green Sky is in Service Titan. You guys can look into that. Okay, so that's one. Anything that says mobile on it is what you normally want to look for, and those are the courses. Let's see here. Bonuses, payroll, memberships. None of this stuff is really going to apply.
Bonuses?
You got the admin side of it, so it might be a little different too.
Yeah, and I don't know what, you
quite a
guys,
bit
now, here we
different.
go. So mobile
It's quite a
2.0
bit different.
basics,
Our version
this
had
is the
like
biggest
6.
one right here. Mobile 2.0 basics and mobile basics overview, mobile check capturing, okay, those are the things, mobile content portal overview. Those are the ones that anything that says mobile, but mobile 2.0 basics is the most important one for all of you guys to look at. Mobile estimates, best practices. Mobile finished versus done for now. It'll kind of give you a little bit of an explanation of how that works. Done for now, we do not use in this shop, okay? Done for now, the only reason done for now would ever be used would be, for an example, we got a 3-day job, right? And done for now can be used in that case if you're coming back the same day. But what done for now does, it doesn't stop the clock, okay? So really done for now is really intended to be for, okay, I have a job today, and it's basically all day long, but in the middle of the job, I've got to go somewhere else and do a small job.
Exactly.
That's really what it's supposed to be used for. So I have a job, it's all day, it's an 8-hour job today, but an hour and a half in the middle, I've got to stop this job, I do it done for now, so I can get to another job, I finish that job, and then I bring this one back up and start it again and finish it at the end of the day. That's what done for now is supposed to be used for. So there's very rarely you guys are going to ever use that, okay? If you do have to use that, you call the office and let us do it for you. I'd rather you do that than you guys trying to do it because it messes up our timekeeping and everything, okay? So basically what we do is we just complete that, we would stop that job when it's done normally and then you move to the next job and stop it when it's done, move to the next job and so on, okay? So that's something that you guys can look at. But anything that says the mobile on it, has a mobile in it, those are the ones you want to go into. All the rest of this stuff, call booking, all that stuff, none of that's going to mean anything to you guys at all. There's just a ton of stuff because they have a whole accounting system in here. They have, the whole dispatching and everything, customers' information is all in here. So there's just a ton of stuff. So none of this other stuff I can see you guys are going to need to do. It's really mainly that second page. It's starting at the first page where it said mobile 2.0, and then coming to those other few mobile things here. In the next page, that's it, okay? So anything that says mobile, that's what you really want to focus on. Anything else, you don't need to worry about, okay? So you guys go through that. That's probably going to take, there's probably going to be a couple hours worth of classes. I mean, some of them are 10 or 15 minutes, some of them are 20, 30 minutes, but the mobile 2.0 is probably because there's different sections to that, that'll take you the longest. So it's probably a good 2 to 3 hours, I would guess, if you went through all the mobile stuff, all right? And for those of you like Pat, Iggy, Ryan, Ryan, Iggy, and William all know it. Pat, I don't think you do. I don't believe so, unless you use it somewhere else. So you're gonna really wanna make sure you spend a couple hours before you go on any jobs next week on Monday, okay? So you get done early today or you don't have time, you got something in the middle, just do that. And it's easier to do this training, you can log on a computer, it's easier to do the training on a computer. So if you have a computer, it's easier. You can do it on your mobile, but it's a lot harder, it's smaller, it's not as good. So I recommend if you have a laptop or a computer at home or something, just take some time and go through those courses so you're familiar with it. It's really easy to use compared to House Call Pro, so if you were able to do House Call Pro and get through that, this will be way easier.
So are we going back to service design now?
Yes,
Okay.
you missed the first part of the meeting, so. All right, so, a couple of other things. So Service Titan, that's really, really important. Purchase orders, when you guys put a purchase order in, a purchase order basically, and the easy thing is, you guys, when you get dispatched to a job, you're gonna get dispatched a job number, okay? So just kind of like, in a way like you do now, but it's a little bit better, okay?
Yeah.
It's gonna give you all your job information, like your job number, who the customer's name, address, and all that stuff. It's gonna get texted to you, okay? So that means if you're an apprentice and you're assigned to the job, you're gonna get it as well.
Yeah, you don't actually have to punch in customer's address.
Right, and you can go in and just click the address, it automatically does it in Service Titan,
And
it's all there.
it keeps actually a nice little time recorder too.
Yep.
So it'll all be time stamped when you're dispatched out, so
Yep.
that you know all your
When you're doing your
time frames throughout the
timekeeping, you'll
course
know
of the day.
exactly when
It
you're dispatched
simplifies
out.
life a lot.
Right,
And you might get a text of where to go.
right.
Yeah.
So, the purchase order is basically a job number, so when you get that in your phone and you're going to Home Depot or you're going to Ferguson or whatever, going to, AC Pro or you're going to Geary, that's your purchase order number. Those numbers should be on every single invoice. When you go to, I don't care if it's Home Depot or what, they ask for a purchase order, there's always a purchase order. Unless it's for your truck, then it should say truck stock, number 14, number
Yep.
16, number 20, whatever. And then, because I look at all those invoices, or Tina does. Second thing, you guys do not buy tools without letting me know about it, because if you buy tools, they're on you. I don't pay for tools,
Or lemonade.
okay? Lemonade, I don't pay for your lemonade.
What about coffee?
Well, if it's here, yeah. But, so if you guys are gonna do something on a separate invoice, that's fine. If you guys wanna do that on your own tools, that's preferred. But when you put tools on a job, and I see that on there, I'm gonna be a little upset, okay? So just know that up front. You wanna buy tools, and I've been okay with this for certain things. I think the only one left that owes me money on tools is Ryan, because I do it when you guys get the sniffer and stuff. I haven't taken that out for you yet.
Oh.
Because when you get checks over $1,000,
That was not something that's not something that I charged without your permission.
no, you didn't. No, but
I bought all my shit.
what I was trying to make my point on that is, if there's something that you want to buy occasionally, because you want to get a new tool and you're trying to build your stuff up a little bit of time, you put it on a separate invoice. You ask me, I'll say say, hey, I'd like to have this taken out of my check this week, or maybe if it's a larger tool, I may do it off of 2 weeks. Okay, something like that. If you let me know and it's approved, then you bring me the invoice. Say here's the invoice for that tool I asked you about. Then I'm totally cool with it. But you got to ask first. Okay, William's done it several times. Hey, can you take this out of my check? He knows he's going to have a couple $1,000 check or whatever, and it's not a problem. Okay, because you got to build your tools up a little bit at a time. You just can't go out and spend $1,000 on tools. It's not realistic, right? So you got to keep buying a little bit at a time, and I'm willing to help if I can that way, as long as it's reasonable and fair. I'll do that. I don't take it, if you have a lower check under $1,000 normally, unless you tell me otherwise, I'm not gonna start taking money out of your check. I have to get verbal, written from you approval, either via text or an email or a handwritten thing saying it's okay to take this money out of my check. That's the law in California. That's why I always do that, okay?
How about trucks and stuff? Like can we get it deducted for like a Chevy or something?
Sure, shut up. You can get truck. I'm gonna buy my own truck. You guys wanna pay for it?
It's gonna be a little truck. It's for my nephew.
Yeah, so Hot Wheels.
Exactly.
On an electric scooter.
So let me continue on. Timesheets. Timesheets, guys, you need to do them every day. Because here's the thing. I do payroll on Tuesdays. And if Monday's a holiday, now I guess I'm doing it on Wednesdays, but I have one day, I have a certain amount of time to get payroll in. Because we gotta pay payroll taxes and everything else for them to be able to process payroll properly, okay? So I need payroll sheets no later than Tuesday mornings. And I don't want you in here for an hour on Tuesday morning filling out timesheets because you didn't want to do it daily. If you fill them out daily, because here's another reason for that. Let's say you're sick on Tuesday morning or whatever, and now I don't have your time sheets for the whole week. It holds everybody up in payroll that could have worked for you, or you're on their job and I gotta see how many hours you worked, so I can, it affects more than just you. You guys don't have to understand that. In most cases, you're on the job, and you have other people on the job, and it's his job, and I gotta make sure all the costs are in there to pay him, and so I've gotta have your timesheets. If you do them every day, if you wanna do them first thing in the morning because you worked a late day and you turn it in as soon as you get in the morning, that's fine. But the problem is if you miss a day, then I don't have your timesheets.
Right.
All right, so the rule is, and it's pretty simple, if you don't have your timesheets turned in and I'm gonna do payroll and I get to that point, I'm paying you minimum wage for the hours I think you worked, approximately, and that's all I have to do by law. Then you can turn your timesheets in and then I can adjust it and do it at my convenience, because I'm not gonna do it at yours. But all I'm required to do is pay you minimum if I don't get timesheets. You're responsible or required to turn your timesheets in. So please turn them in, get them in on time, keep them in your folders. Everyone has a folder right there by my door there. Put your stuff in there and just keep them in there, okay? Next thing, trucks, keys for trucks. You guys need to sign them out from either me or Nick. And whoever signs them out is responsible to not only make sure that truck that they got is locked up, secured, everything is done, and we get the keys back. It cost us, depending on the key, anywhere, I mean, I've had keys cost me as little as $10, but I've had them cost me as much as $250. If they have a little chip in them, they're really expensive, and they gotta come back and reprogram all the keys for that truck, not just the one key, because if they reprogram it, the program changes from whatever was original, and they gotta reprogram all the keys. So they're very expensive for me to replace. Some keys I cannot replace. There's a couple special lock keys that we cannot replace. We have to drill the locks out. So it gets real expensive. You need to make sure you're not losing keys and you're turning them in. Don't give the key to somebody else after you checked it out, because the other day, I'm giving a key to number, I think it was truck 20 or 26, whatever, maybe it was 26, I don't remember, and it was 20. And the key was left on the back with the roll up left open, everyone was gone, there's gauges in there, there's tanks, there's just tons of shit in there that could be stolen. Plus the keys are there, they can take the truck. Okay, we just got them all wrapped. I only have one truck left to wrap that's got to get fixed. It's number 4, the only blue one out there. All the rest have been wrapped now. So we look a little bit more professional. We need to keep the trucks in good condition. If oil change light comes on, something, you need to let us know. I just got 20, the tires, I just replaced the tires on it. I tried to get an alignment because the right front tire, I guess, was separating, is why it was doing that shaking. So you get something dangerous, brakes aren't working, you need to let me know. We'll swap trucks for the time being until I get it fixed. I want you guys to be safe out there. I don't want anybody getting in an accident. We can't run a company if I don't have employees or I had dead employees. So please be careful. If something happens, let us know. But that one, the tire's brand new on it now. He's coming this morning to drop it off. Once that's done, I gotta find a place to do that large truck alignment. They weren't able to do it yesterday, but I'm gonna do that before we get it on the
You
road.
said the tire was separating?
It was separating.
So, a couple of things, one thing that I know that I didn't know, and I know that maybe a couple of new guys don't know, that when you got the box trucks, you have to lock the button down and hold the handle up while you close it in order for it to lock. If you just push the lock down and slam it closed, the lock will pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also, for those of you who don't know, there are kill switches for every truck in the back of the truck.
Inside right there.
So before you lock the truck up and walk away and turn in the keys, you need to turn those on. We don't want our trucks stolen. They don't care about the trucks as much, especially since they're wrapped. They will care about what's inside of them usually. So if you have gauges in there, a pair of $700 gauges or whatever, $800 gauges, they're going to be gone.
Right.
And they'll steal just for that. I mean, $800 is $800 to people out there. So, and they get a couple of tanks, they'll grab whatever they can. Okay. Since we're still in the COVID thing, I want to just throw out there, guys, the disinfectant. We have plenty of disinfectant. I got more spray bottles. You guys need to make sure you're bringing that with you, wearing your mask when you go to a customer's home, letting them know that we care about their safety, we care about our safety. Wipe the door handles down, show them that you care about all that stuff. Anything you touch, make sure you're disinfecting, okay? So we got plenty of that stuff. There shouldn't be a problem with that. All right, anybody have any questions? I think I got what I really wanted to get out. Anybody have any questions or comments? Yes,
He sent us a text the other day regarding a lot of this stuff.
yes.
He also said I have to wear a black belt. I only have a brown one.
Like black one.
Spray painted.
You can, you know, if you wanna wear a brown belt till you get a black one, please, but the uniform, we wanna get a black belt, guys, it looks a lot better with the
We're all
uniform.
black belts here.
If you wear brown shoes, you wanna wear a brown belt, I don't care.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
see?
you wanna wear a brown belt, that's
I
fine.
got brown shoes. I gotta keep
Long
the
as your belt
fashion and
matches
style
your-
here.
Yeah, your belt should normally match your shoes, but black pretty much goes with anything, so if you wear a belt, that's, as long as it's not multicolored or something crazy looking, then I'm fine.
No more rainbow
spikes
belts.
on it.
No more rainbow belts, I mean, I'm all into the LGBTQ community, but, that's not here right now. That's not the uniform. Anybody else? Yes?
The check engine light's on my truck, I told you already.
Yeah, I know, but he's gonna have to, you have in the computer from your oxygen sensors, luckily we passed the smog, so we're good. We know what the reason is in yours, and it's nothing bad, other than there's a loose wire in the computer. And he says he's gonna have to get a guy that's gonna either have to try to rewire that whole computer. So he's trying to get a guy for me, and once he does, I'll have to pull you out of your truck again. But I made us wait until I get 4 fixed, and then I
And
can
you
do
can swing
that.
into that and you're fine.
Because that's gonna, he says it may take a while to go through all the wires. He's gotta trace all the wires to see which
Yeah,
ones
it's
have a
not easy.
short in it and rewire them.
Just wanted to let you know.
I think it's time I'm going to get an oil change.
Okay, so basically, you either let me or Nick know, we'll put it on the board, and then we just call Paul up. We gotta have the vehicle here, so that could mean, sometimes he'll do them on Saturdays for us. And if the vehicle's here, he'll do it on Saturday. If it's not, then you're gonna have to swap out of the vehicle for him to do an oil change even. Cause he does them during the week all day long. I mean, he'll do them all the time. He comes right here to the shop and does them.
I come in Saturday.
Okay? It's either that or, you know, that's usually the way we go. If you wanna do it yourself and take it to like a Jiffy Lube or something like that, then you're just gonna have to get reimbursed, cause that's the only other way if you're not, cause it's a lot of work to get out of your truck, some of you guys, I know.
Heck, yeah.
Swapping all your stuff out of
Oh,
the
yeah.
truck just for an oil change is kinda not realistic. It takes about 10-15 minutes usually at Jiffy Lube, so if you wanna be able to get in there. This guy, I just can tell him, hey, he'll come today if the truck is here and he'll do it. So it's at his convenience, it's not like I have a set window of 15 minutes he's gonna do it in. Okay?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'll just swing by Chippy Lou.
Okay, we only put in
Most better.
synthetic, that's all we put in our trucks. Alright,
Most expensive.
anybody else, any questions, we're all good? Alright guys, just get out there and get to work, appreciate it, thank you.
Oh, yeah, thank you. ¿Qué te lo mando? Shut up. You're welcome, we only $10. Yo, keep it. ¿Tú te lo envías, güey? Como te digo, next week va a estar igual de chingón, we'll see how it goes.